hello everyone. Welcome back. I hope y'all had a great weekend. I haven't been on here for a few days, so I wanted to drop some knowledge and drop a few bars for y'all today because I haven't been on for a while, and I wanted to go ahead and lay a positive message out for you all because that's what I do. It's all about positivity. It's all about transferring information. It's a lot of content creators out there. And so whatever you can get from me, that's good. And whatever you can't get from me, you can get from somebody else. And that's what we're here for. It's enough. It's enough for everybody. Everybody has room to grow. Everybody has room to eat. There's billions of people out here in the world, and there's enough room for everybody to circulate because there's not enough information out here. So let's get into it. Today I want to talk about judgment. Like, don't judge a book by its cover. We do this a lot. We do this when we're in interviews. We do this when we're introducing somebody to another person, or even if we're just interested in somebody. Our first impressions is sometimes our last impression, especially if that person doesn't give us a chance. That's why we have to work on ourselves too, and make sure that we're giving a good impression. But we can only be the person that we are, and it takes time to readjust ourselves from learning habits that we already have anyway. So never judge a book by its cover. Once we get older, and once we learn things and we grow and we see how the world works, we would think that everybody would develop their own mindset, or people wouldn't be a certain type of way, but it doesn't happen all the time. And sometimes it takes more situations, and it takes understanding, and it takes a person trying to figure things out or wanting to know things on their own for us to know how people work and how people operate. Is it good to judge a book by its cover? No, but we do it because that's how our mind is trained to work. Once we see something, we have a certain instinct in our head about why it's that way, or how it's supposed to be, or what it's supposed to look like. And so for with every action is a reaction. But what we tend to do is form an opinion about a person based off the way that they're carrying themselves, or based off what they're saying, or how their facial expressions are looking. And we do this on a surface level. We do this on a surface level based on the person's demeanor. So sometimes a person can look sad, or sometimes a person can look angry or surprised, stressed, whatever. But if we don't know that person and we haven't been around them, we will take just their demeanor and we will judge them based on if they're an angry person, or if they're a person you can't get along with. And we have to sometimes look deeper into what we're getting into before we put those labels on people. We look over good people because of that reason. And the longer we live life and the more situations that we be in, we can learn how to dig deeper, or learn to get to know a person before we judge them by their demeanor. Sometimes we even show interest in others that may not be good for us based on the good persona that they put out. So a person may look appealing to you, and they might sound appealing. They might, have a gift for gab, and they show you all of these things and all of these good qualities, and that's their demeanor. But sometimes they're not a good person on the inside. So it's a tricky thing when you're trying to find genuine and loyal people. It's natural for us to do it because it's our lasting impression of you, especially if you're not going to see you again, or if you're trying to hire you on a job, or we're trying to see if you're going to become our friend or not, or if you're going to be in our circle. So that's why each experience teaches us to dig deeper, because we will run into false encounters in our lives, and those false encounters in our lives can give us the ability to know that everything that we see on the surface level may not be real. I've met people that have seemed to be very unintelligent and not the smartest people, but then when you get them alone, they're the smartest people that you have ever met, and they probably was that way because they're not that sociable, or they probably are nervous around a lot of people. So sometimes it's just the environment that they're in, or the stress level that is put upon them, that can make them appear a certain type of way. I've also seen the best dressed, clean from head to toe person, and not a hair, not a piece of dust on them, but had the dirtiest homes. And you're like, wow, like I would have never thought that you would live this way, but the way you present yourself on the outside, it would seem like you got all your stuff together, or even as if you're what you call those people? Dang, what do you call those people that like to have everything in order? OCD, that's what it is. OCD. You would think that they was OCD because of the way that they come out, and they don't want a hair out of place. They don't want any dirt on them. They don't want nobody touching them. And you would think that, oh man, they OCD. But if you a lot of people that I have met that carry themselves this way, they don't they live in places that doesn't equal out to be how they carry themselves. So I'm not saying all people are like this, but I'm just making an example about how we can't judge a book by its cover, because sometimes we can get false information and we don't even know what we're getting ourselves into. Let's see. I've also seen basic dress people in just basic everyday t-shirt, jeans, and some regular tennis shoes. They don't even have to be name brand tennis shoes. Basic people walking around. They have a lot of money, and we would assume that, oh, they poor, they don't have anything, they don't fit into, our circle or whatever. But we do this sometimes a lot based upon, it's all of us, not a certain type of race, not a certain type of gender, but we all do this just as a population. It's just something that society has instilled in our mindset of how we're supposed to be, how we're supposed to look, how we're supposed to walk, talk, dress, everything. Like before we came up with the fashions and all the latest trends, there was nothing here. So we developed all of these things to make us, and if we didn't have those things, we'll all be everyday regular average people. So we basically, society put these labels on us to make us feel like we have to be a certain type of way. It separate us from our inner being. A lot of times we don't let people in our circle because they're socially awkward, and that's okay. That's something that can be worked on. As long as we remain humble, the right people will come along to stay. And that's what you want in your life. You want people that are genuine and humble people that's going to be down for you, that's going to be there for your best interests. And they're just humble people that's not out to get you, not out to compete with you. They're not out to pray for your downfall. These people are the ones that you want around, and that's why it's good to not judge a book by its cover, because you can basically pass these people by. You can see these people in passing and not know that these can be the people that are for you in your life, and even people that can make you better, because we can always learn something from somebody else. That's why we're put on this earth, because everybody on this earth is put here to learn a lesson from somebody else. We learn a lot of things from other people. If we was just here on this earth by ourselves, we will only know what we know and not know anything further than that. So everybody that I have came encounter with, whether they were good or whether they were bad, I learned something from them of what to do and what not to do. I learned a different vocabulary. I learned a different mindset. I learned to be more intellectual. I learned to dress differently, or just things that was appealing to me that I liked, and I said, hey, I like that. I'm gonna start doing that. So there's certain things in people that we see that we want in ourselves also, and that you're gonna also put your own style to it because you are your own person. But we are still giving and taking from others. You see what I'm saying? And it's good to be humble And if you stay humble and if you stay genuine and you stay a good person, those people will feel a mutual kindness with you, and they will take to you and open up and be more comfortable with you and gravitate towards you to show you their inner selves. A lot of people are closed off and they're wrapped in their shell because they have been hurt around, they have been hurt by a lot of people, by friends, family members, relationships, and sometimes they don't know how to be. A lot of people, they don't know how to speak. They feel like that they're wasting their time putting so much energy into just interacting with people in life because they haven't gotten a lot back in return. And I get that. You know, a lot of times I didn't smile a long time ago because a lot of times when I did smile, people took me for granted, or they looked at me as a joke, or they said, you know, you're being too friendly, or, you know, it's a lot of things that you go that goes on in your life to where you're just tired of just being the person that you are. But we can't let people in life stop us from being the people that we are. But we can strive to be better people and be great people, because that shows an example of how the rest of the world really wants to be. So having your own mindset makes you a stronger person. And we don't want people in society to take away our joy and our strength. That is something that is strong and people want to have, but it's hard to maintain. And if we work on ourselves and work on maintaining that strength, people will see us as superior, or somebody as an example to look up to and want to strive to be like us. So we can't let the world make us fall into the trap of negativity. It's a good goal in life to remain humble, because there's not that many humble people out there. Like we are peculiar people when we set ourselves to be up like that. But if we are like the rest, then we are followers, you see? So it's about changing who we are. We want to be that lasting impression, but we want to make a good one. So if you are, for example, a person that frowns a lot, or you look sad a lot, and a lot of people come to you and they tell you these things, then we can work on smiling more. That can be something of a goal for us to work on smiling more, because we want to give a good impression. And sometimes we can miss things because of our energy. So it's good to work on your energy. And for the judgers, we have to work on our analysis on how we see people. For example, a person says, "Hey, you frown a lot. You should smile more." That's a good analysis. That person may frown a lot, and it may give them the indication that they should smile more. Even though a lot of people don't like to hear that, but it's good to know things about yourself to see how you appear to other people. So I wouldn't take that to offense. Now, example two, the way you look, I thought you didn't like me. See, that's like a that's more of an accusation. You're telling a person that they don't like you when you don't even know that they don't like you, just based off of their facial expression. So the judger has to work on their analysis and their response based on the little information that they have. So you want to have more information before you make an accusation on whether a person likes you or not, or whether a person is out to get you or not, just based off of their energy, because that person can always appear that way, and that's just how they look. So it's just a collective thing. Like we have to just work on ourselves, work on our perception, working on our analysis, our vibes, the way we come across, and just being better people. It's really not about changing who you are, but practicing becoming better each day. And that's all I have about that. You know, I hope somebody got something from that. I know a lot of people struggle with those things, or have had situations where that has happened before. I hope you all enjoyed that video that I put out. I hope it didn't make anybody feel any type of way. I'm just having fun. I'm laid back, humble person, but I like to have fun at the same time. So I hope that nobody took it any type of way, like I'm trying to be any type of way. But I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Y'all have a good day, and y'all hit the bell button for the next video and subscribe.